French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte have filed a bombshell 22-count defamation lawsuit. This is huge. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and his wife Brigitte have filed a bombshell 22-count defamation lawsuit in the United States aimed squarely at conservative podcaster Candace Owens. The case says that Owens and her repeated claims that Brigitte Macron is secretly a man, which by the way is a conspiracy theory, one that the Macrons call invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust. There's so many things wrong with saying that someone is secretly a man. The misgendering, the violence of misgendering, the dishonesty of it. This is a lot. Anyway, the suit accuses Candace Owens of launching a, quote, relentless year-long campaign of defamation for profit and refusing to stop even after multiple legal warnings and so-called incontrovertible evidence, quote unquote, proving Brigitte was born female. Owens revived the rumor in a March YouTube video titled, "Is France's First Lady a Man?" She later promoted a series called Becoming Brigitte to her nearly 4.5 million subscribers. She also sold merch mocking the claim. Now, the Macrons say they've had enough. The lawsuit seeks punitive damages for defamation, for false light, and defamation by implication. It says the couple has suffered, quote, substantial economic damages and loss of future business opportunities. Candace Owens is not backing down. On Instagram, she taunted the Macrons, posting, "I will be coming for this wig today. Stay tuned." She later called the lawsuit a desperate PR stunt in a YouTube response. This isn't the first time the Macrons have fought this claim. You see, back in 2022, Brigitte sued two French women who pushed a similar conspiracy. That case is still winding its way through France's legal system. But for now, the U.S. is likely to test the limits of international reputational harm in the age of social media and whether speech that starts with internet gossip can trigger real-world consequences, at least in terms of the law. I just don't know. Again, I don't know anything about Brigitte Macron. I don't know anything about anything related to France's First Lady. But what I will say is the idea that Brigitte Macron was born a male and was somehow transformed into something else, that's a bold claim. To say someone was assigned one gender or one sex at birth and became something else and is secretly hiding and all this stuff. It seems implausible to me. I haven't studied this. I can't say Candace's evidence is wrong or Candace's evidence is right. But I've seen with other things what can happen when research isn't well tied together. From what I can see and what other people have said, there's no doubt that Brigitte Macron is exactly who she says she is. Some people disagree. They all seem to be right-wing conspiracy theorists for the most part, but they have a different take on this. Lay your cards out. Bring the evidence to the table and let's see what happens. If it's true, show me. If it's a lie, be accountable. I can't imagine why the Macrons would be suing her if it were true. I think they would just remain silent. But I also don't know from a legal perspective what it means to demand damages from another country. I just don't know, like, can someone from another country sue you for defamation in the U.S. civil court? Do you have to give them money? I just don't know. But the question for me, why is this a story? Why is this an issue? Why does anybody care about the sexual designation or the gender identity of the First Lady of France? Why is this a target for Candace Owens? Why is she interested in telling this story? That's a genuine question. I don't understand how we got here. Nobody's supposed to be here. Anyway, it's a wild story. But if they successfully take her on in court, I don't know. And if Candace is in fact not telling the truth, or is wrong, because maybe Candace believes this but is mistaken. If that's the case, what is the legal precedent for that? What is the social media precedent for that? In other words, like, what happens? Will people be inclined to do yet less yapping You think what I'm saying? If they know that they can actually be sued online, some people theorize, not me, but some people theorize that the way to stop all the internet trash talk is for people to get punched in the face in real life, right? Like if you knew you could get punched in the face in real life, you wouldn't be talking so tough on the internet. I'm not saying that's what people should do, but that's an argument. Similarly, maybe people wouldn't spread conspiracy theories and lies about people if they knew they could be materially harmed through lawsuits, civil lawsuits. Again, I'm not saying that's what Candace is doing. I'm not saying that's what Macron is doing. I don't know the stories. I haven't investigated it, but I find it highly unlikely that this woman is anything but who she says she is. So that's unfortunate.